So Kurt ended up going back, I believe, to WWE in the GM role in 2016. I want to say, roughly, and then obviously he tagged with Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania against Triple H and Stephanie. But that was pretty much it for him as an active wrestler in a lot of ways because he went into the Raw GM role, and I kind of want to get your perspective on this, Rob. He mentioned that he really wanted to go back and wrestle there, and that was but Vince and wanted to put him in this GM role as a GM and an authority figure, and so he went along with it. But then he mentioned that doing that took away, really diminished his, I guess, in ring ability to continue wrestling, and it kind of quickened his retirement more so. Do you think? I know everybody's body is different and stuff like that, but could you kind of understand that maybe with Kurt, that happening with Kurt in that perspective of what like him not being able to wrestle and just being in a GM, persona role kind of thing like that, kind of quicken his aspect of not wrestling and kind of diminishing his athletic ability at that point in time?
Yeah, I can see it.
Hmm.
That's the rule of thumb has always been that time off is a wrestler's worst nightmare.
Hmm.
Old old expression that I feel like, just like in many areas, I feel like I am an exception to that, and I've always enjoyed time off. But um, enough time off, if you're sediment if you're sedimentary all the time, then you're going to look like it. You know what I mean? And if you aren't in wrestling condition for a long time, long time, then of course, just like conditioning with anything, most GMs probably don't work out like a professional athlete either. You know what I mean? So it's the whole lifestyle that you got to keep up. Otherwise, you lose it no matter what it is. No matter what it is. You know what I mean? If you're an archer, you know, and you're good at shooting the bow and arrow, bam, and then try taking 2 years off of it, and then pick one up and see how good you are that day. You know what I mean? It's just anything. It's conditioning, uh, and you condition your body, your mind, your body, and with things like this, you have to adjust your whole lifestyle to it to be able to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like if he was going in there with the mindset of like, okay, I want to wrestle and I want to be active on a consistent basis, like, and then you're just in that role of like, okay, I'm not wrestling. I'm on television, but I'm not wrestling. It's
Right.
like,
Maybe I can sleep in instead of hitting the gym today. I'm going to wear a suit anyway. No one's going to see me.
yeah, yeah. It's just like
Maybe.
it contradicts it all in a lot of ways. And so, and plus the wear and tear has taken on that his body at that juncture too, even was just like, okay, like it's got to maybe speed up some of the process of that too. So,
Most wrestlers that I've talked to, when they get on in their years, they say that when they stop, that's when everything catches up with them. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
um, I've said lots of times I feel better now than I did in my 40s because I had uh, issues like with my back that went away. So I'm again exceptional in that area, but time off is a wrestler's worst enemy. I've always heard that from the guys. And then when they're not in the ring, and then they're not as active, then they don't keep the motion. Then they lose their not just their flexibility, but also, I mean, their tendons, everything will stiffen up, and everything on your body that bothers you, everything, it's always inflammation. If you haven't learned that yet, no matter what it is, from tennis elbow to an upset stomach to a headache, it's always inflammation. And that's the body's defense system. When it finds something wrong, boom, it flames up. And I think of it like your body's opening up a tent around the location so it can do construction work and shit. But now that tent is fucking up the flow of traffic and everything. It's right in the middle of the fucking busy way, and it's got to go. And so then you got to take care of that, and that's everything in the body. So there's all kinds of things to do to minimize and avoid inflammation, and they're all good to do no matter who you are or what you do. But if you're a pro wrestler, then all of a sudden you stop moving around and stuff and just become sedimentary, or an athlete actually of any kind, someone that's really active and shit. But from all the bumps and stuff that we take, yeah, just sit because it might feel good for the moment, and it's not gonna feel good after a while because everything will just stiffen up on you, and you'll be inflamed like a
Like
fucking
Ghost Rider,
like a flaming Cheeto,
like a flaming Cheeto.
like Ghost Rider eating a flaming Cheeto.
Yeah, there you go. Well, plus you got to worry about traveling too and riding on planes and like all that kind of crap too that goes along
That
with it.
that is worse for me than the match, like 9 out of 10 times. Yeah, I leave the match feeling great. Wow, man, cool. I didn't get hurt. I feel great tonight. And then by the time I get home the next day, after sitting on that uncomfortable airplane and sleeping like this,
Ugh.
like I'm always feeling it the next day.
Ugh. Yeah, and I think I remember hearing Tommy Dreamer say something about how rough that is too after he's wrestling and flying back and all that stuff. Yikes.
It
Ugh.
is.
So Kurt ended up having his retirement match at WrestleMania, but it was in a losing effort against Baron Corbin. It wasn't. It was as a fan who loved Kurt Angle and everything like that. It was a disappointing send off, and I know Kurt deserved a lot kind of better in that in a lot of ways.